cyanide flower this on the ends, representing the flames. Yo, the one here for the Honorable Priest Isaac. Some boy fi know this. Hear me now. Antigua are the place where Priest Isaac dwell. Ancient Israel, ancient story fi tell. Yes, yes, up a Lalibela where the monk them a dwell. With them mescal them a broke evil spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. His foundations in the whole mountain. Priest Isaac on the whole mountain. Him block a reverence on the whole mountain. Him chant a psalm on the whole mountain. But never hesitate for yell the king. I tell her Isaro Einin. So proud yes to be an offspring. Mystic vibration of the people them a sing. Angel, mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where him dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them now go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. Trot on the banks of the gully. Isaac trod it through the hills and the valley. Trod it through the town, through the bloody city. Highly, 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 always with we. Highly, 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 I'll protect we. Highly, 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 I would never leave we.
Program today, we didn't take away too much time. From Priest Isaac is with us this afternoon. Priest, you've got to sort out that microphone so we can get it nice and proper. Green Castle in Antigua and Barbuda, and lots of folks do not even know the value of what we have here in Antigua and Barbuda. So today we're going to touch on the Green Castle.
Yes, my brother, blessed love to you. I'm sure all is well with you, and of course you and yours, and of course, you know, a blessed good afternoon to the people that are listening. And as you said, Green Castle Hill is definitely on the agenda, and I think off the bat, where should I begin? There's so many aspects here I want to touch upon, because we intend to have a grand international hike, and this is coming up on the 21st day of December, 2018. How's the mic sounding? I sound a bit low.
I'm hearing you loud and
clear. Okay, well, let us go through.
But you could always raise your voice.
Well, I'm good. I don't need, the 21st day of December 2018, which will actually be a Friday. But as I'm saying now, that's of course several months away from now. And as I said, it is an international hike.
We're having folks from around the world coming to Antigua. What's the significance, and what are we missing and not aware of? That's at Green Castle.
It's a little too loud now, but well, actually, you see, this is the whole aspect. This is the reason why we intend to put on this hike, is that we want to at least. We have a hike coming up just the Sunday before Labor Day, and I'm going to speak of that before we leave. But you see, the international community, they have a good understanding of, I've had people that have come here from England, several families from England, from Suriname, from Bermuda, you know, come just specifically for me to take them on Green Castle Hill. Now, we're going to have a educational program today, my brother, and there's something I want to present to the listening audience. And we have spoken from time to time about, you know, Maura Imbert and the works that she has done on Green Castle Hill and the results thereof. So I thought that it would have been important for those of you who are, who are interested in scholarly information, for us to at least give some bit of the literal report as it relates to that, and
As it relates to Green Castle.
yes, and some information I would even proceed that with. Now I want you to follow this, my brother, and we'll go in deeper. It says here, the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, Trinidad and Tobago Department of History, and the possible influence of astronomy on the culture of ceramic age and pre-Columbian inhabitants of Green Castle Hill in Antigua by Maura P. Imbert. Introduction. When Columbus arrived in the West Indies in 1492, it is reported that the Antillean islands were inhabited by an Amerindian culture called the Tianos. The Tiano culture was chronicled extensively by Spanish historians, but little or no information was available about their astronomical knowledge. Archaeological and mythological evidence has shown that this was very extensive. Sebastian Robisch Lamarche, 1984, who has intensively researched their astronomy, has shown that there is a relationship between the Taino and the Mesoamerican culture concerning certain deities and related cultural practices. An archaeological excavation of the summit of Green Castle Hill on the island of Antigua indicated that the hill was inhabited by a ceramic age Amerindian presence during the period of AD 900 to 1200. Artifacts recovered during the excavation were typical of the terminal to post-Saladoid culture affiliation. That's a specific group of
Amerindians?
people. Yes, classified by the Caribbean archaeologists and Mamorian Tromasoioid people, another set of individuals.
And they were here in Antigua?
They visited Antigua, but some of them you find them more down in Suriname, Trinidad, and these areas.
Okay.
So this would definitely even coincide with what the old people would say, that Antigua was a place where the different Indians or the different inhabitants, let me put it that way, from the different islands would come here to perform specific rites and rituals. So it was like a melting pot as such.
Antigua is a melting pot right now too.
A pepper pot from long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this article is coming out of the University of the West Indies,
yes.
St. Augustine in Trinidad and Tobago.
Department of History, Maura Imbert. As I said, just for sound holistic information, we can come and yap, but for sound scientific, to be precise information, let us get the records and, conclude. We can just jump a few lines here. An array of stones on the summit of Green Castle Hill has recently been investigated to determine whether it could have been an astronomical calendar. And that's from Maura Imbert, 2007, not too long ago. When the bearings of the stones in the array were compared with the azimuths of stars known to have been of importance in the Amerindian culture, the correlation strongly suggested that the array was used to determine the time. And when you deal with astronomy, the azimuth, you're dealing with stars in relation to the horizon and the angle that you can see them from. That's in astronomical terms. The results of this investigation suggested a parallel investigation of how astronomy affected the lifeways of the culture group that inhabited Green Castle Hill, including their social life, religious ceremonies, navigation, cultural activities, and their time reckoning of important seasonal events. The results of this investigation are presented in this paper. And that's just the introduction. I wouldn't really, I ain't going to bore your audience, but...
Education is not boring,
You know what I'm saying?
We need to grasp the things that are important to us.
Well, let me just run through a quick part of the site background here. It said Greencastle Hill is situated in the Sherkley Mountains of Antigua and is an eroded volcanic dome. Volcanic, dome of columns of andesite. Subsequent erosion and the action of the sea exposed columns of different sizes, which litter, and that is the precise word, which litter the hill.
It's your playground, so you know exactly what's happening up there.
In various arrays. The random scattering of most of these columns make the particular alignment of stones on the summit of Greencastle Hill all the more remarkable. This alignment of stone columns was first, imagine that, discovered, no disrespect to Dr. Imbert, by Dr. W. Forrest in 1930. You get, this is a Christopher Columbus move here. So this, you know what I mean?
They write in their own history.
Yeah,
okay, I hear you.
So Forrest is the first one that is discovered in 1930, where we just clearly said people.
The Amerindians was up there. They were coming from all over.
1,000
right
years
here
ago.
in Antigua and Barbuda.
Imagine that. But anyway,
worship up there.
Anyway, but you see, basically, you know, as I said, it's obvious. 2 weeks ago, Greencastle Hill was on fire. This is something that it does, well, a time ago, it was doing it every year. But then I noticed after a while, it would be like every 2 years, and, you know, but it's usually around the time of spring. And I was not aware, it just happens, you know, spontaneously, and poof, and then you see the whole hill aflame. At least from where I am, I can see it good. So I was out and I came in the evening, and it was about 10 o'clock. And I put on the news, and the reporter, that's ABS News, the reporter was saying that McNish Mountains was on fire. And it does it every year. And I said, McNish Mountain. So I went to, let's just say, the high point of where I reside. And I said, no, man, that's Greek. I can see Greencastle Hill. I said, man, that's Greencastle Hill on fire. And, you know, because, you see, when you put your heart into something, because I know how much that we've already put into trying to make the people aware of the importance of that treasure that we have.
Greencastle Hill.
When I hear the man talking about McNish Mountain on fire, I said, which McNish Mountain, brother? That's the great Greencastle Hill aflame, connecting with the elements and the gods and the heavens. McNish Mountain. No offense to the mountain McNish, but you know, what that showed me is that we have not yet. We definitely, no one can tell me I don't know what I'm saying. As a people here in Antigua, we don't have no respect for the great Greencastle Hill, which is to me one of the most outstanding monuments or anything that we have, a national treasure in the midst of us. Look what the report is saying.
Well, maybe from their angle, what they were seeing, they thought it was McNish Mountain. Maybe they didn't go on site.
You see, you see, but you see, it's not. That's not
because of the fact that you know the landscape, and you know the geography of the place up there. And you could have identified that it was, of course, Greencastle Hill, but maybe they were looking from afar on a tall building and. Just assume that it was there. So let's forgive them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Before you can forgive them, but before I drop in that forgiveness, Chip, let me explain what I'm really saying. My brother, you see, as Brother Paddy Simon would say, is not what is being said, you know.
Is who saying it?
Is who says so. We have been preaching this for a decade plus. We even wrote manuscripts, books. We've gone all over the world, teaching the world about the treasure that we have in Antigua that can be compared to Naptu Playa, which is in southern Egypt, one of the oldest kingdoms that exists, where you see the rocks standing up in the formation of Stonehenge, similar to Stonehenge.
And Stonehenge is in England.
In Great Britain. We've visited Stonehenge not too long ago just to, just literally just to see, to feel the energy of Stonehenge. And when we visited Stonehenge, we say, hey, this cannot compare to Greencastle Hill in Antigua. The very first time I really came to any understanding of Greencastle Hill is when Brother Linley Winter, Heward Isaac, and Brother Punter invited me to come up to Greencastle Hill, and they were teaching the nation about the importance of this hill, and bringing out to the nation. Well, it's something to consider. Why
need to
this
be
hill,
preserved.
why not only need to be preserved, why is it being destroyed? Whether for positive use or use not, but it's a monument that should be, as you said, preserved. So that's something that I've always pushed. I've written letters to prime ministers present and past, tourism ministers present and past, as far as the viability of this mountain, what it can do. What I've seen other monuments and other structures in other places to the same Stonehenge. What how the economic
Spin off.
yeah, from the monuments,
The
shirts
visitors,
and
folks,
books and posters,
all
and
the
food.
paraphernalia that can come from it.
That follows it, of different groups and activist groups have held many hikes go up to the mountain. So the point I'm making, because I've written letters to ABS television and different stations, even this humble place where we are too. Yeah, I'm a writer. So when I hear the national news make a mistake, as if, we just didn't know. Me personally, no, that don't go down good with me. You can forgive them if you want.
I did.
I hear you. It's different with me, brother. Who feels it knows. Don't feel no way. All right. But I'm having a hike now on the 6th of May. That's the day before Labor Day.
That's a Sunday.
And it's an afternoon hike. You see, as I said, we are looking to have an international hike on the 21st, which will be a morning hike. Now, that will be surrounded, that will be like a whole 7-day event. But one of the days will be a hike. And we'll be inviting people from the international community. We at this moment, we have already begun to send out our invitation. So at this time, we are still coordinating it properly, but we already have a good, skeleton idea of what we will be doing. A 7 to 9 day event. We will have lectures even in the midst of that. We intend to approach some of our, our so-called local individuals that could definitely play a part of this event. Specifically our historians. I don't want to put no one on the spot really, but these individuals, they always come to assist me when I call. Even Dr. Reginald Murphy, who his name is mentioned in this report as well.
From the University of the West Indies. In this out of St. Augustine?
Our Reginald Murphy. Dr. Reginald Murphy, an archaeologist. Oh, that's where he's... Well,
no, I'm asking you if the report
yes.
he was mentioned in that report.
He's mentioned in it. I might just touch upon it, before we go find it. Because I intend to have a lecture before we take the guests up to Greencastle Hill, so that might be the evening before. We will have a media day as well, where they'll go out and meet all the media houses, and so the people could hear that we have guests from France and guests from Sweden and guests from Brazil. I'm being serious, on the land. They came to visit Greencastle Hill, because I'll be sending out invitations even to groups, hiker groups internationally, groups that deal with preservation and of these sort of special sites as well, and just people that will be happy to get out of the cold during the time of December, because remember, my lord, I have a very big presence internationally, so there are always people that are, interested to know what's Antigua like, and even coming to meet the great priest Isaac, according to their words. I ain't propping up myself, I'm just telling you.
There's nothing is wrong with propping up yourself.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes. So what I'm saying now, this whole mission also is to, again, bring to an awareness, even us who are the ones that are not aware of what we have in the midst of us. We're talking about a hill with countless of megaliths that, according to all the scientists that I've called here and the archaeologists, it has a specific alignment with the movements of the heavens beyond just archaeology and not archaeology, beyond just agriculture and telling time, but the literal movements of the heavens. When you understand the heavens, my brother, because I study the stars and these different things. So when you comprehend the heavens, you have a bit more appreciation for maybe Greencastle Hill when you understand that these rocks are portrayed in the pattern of the heavens. You know, as I said a few months ago, or it's a month now, what today is, a month plus ago, we had a general election, the 21st day of March. You know, you read this very same report. I'm sure politicians had a look at this report. The report clearly tells you that the 21st day of March is the power day. It's right here, the 21st day of March, showing you now that on the 21st day of March, which is the equinox, the spring equinox, that is the day when the days equal, day and night is equal. When we have in the international hike, it will be the winter solstice. You know, that's the longest day. No, that's the shortest day, longest night. But anyway, let me get to this quick point. The 21st day of March now, there's a specific stone called the phallic stone. And according to Dr. Imbert, on that day, the phallic stone aligns with the power point of the heavens, which is the celestial north pole of the heavens, wherein you have the star Polaris at this time. So, you know, that whole concept.
It's called a power day?
Yes, a power day. Meaning that now, you see the symbol of the phallic. This is deep, you know, the symbol of the phallic. And anyone who's listening...
You feel Mr. Brown was au fait to that?
Well, this is not the first time. It was done in 2000, and when the government in the sunshine, it was the very same day.
It was?
The 21st of March. Well, trust me, I wouldn't forget that. Okay. It was the 21st day of March, and
you're gonna have politicians now saying that we have elections, all elections on the 21st of March. That's the power day. Whether they know what's behind it or not.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, but if it works, it works, right? I mean, if it works, it works. Yeah, the 21st of March.
Yeah, and I know some people will say, well, in them superstition. It's not me superstition. It's not really superstition. It's not even me, you know. It is just understanding that the heavens has always been the handiworks of the Almighty. This is a key point. The stars. The Bible says that in the 19 stars, that the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament show it his handiwork. You know, the star in Bethlehem is what gave the report to the wise ones that the Christ was born. It was a star. You know, the cartoon may have it as if they were walking behind the star like it was a satellite, but it wasn't really that they were following behind a star, but they followed the pattern of the stars. They understood the movements and everything and where the moon and the sun was, and they say, hey, this is what's going on over there in Bethlehem. A Christ child is being born. So it's the stars. So again, the Greencastle Hill is aligned with the stars. I mean, this is serious, you know. This is why you can compare it to the other megalithic sites across the earth.
Okay, let me pose a question to you. And I want to take you back to you talk about the fire. That was, we got to take a break when we come back.
Of course. I was wondering about them breaks.
But wherever you are around the world, thanks for being with us for today, Wednesday. It happens to be another beautiful day in Antigua and Barbuda. We've been getting some well-deserved showers on and off, and always welcome showers here in Antigua and Barbuda. Priest, what I was about because you mentioned about the different fires, and it seems like it was happening, and all of a sudden it's not. The fires you think is because of the megalith, or is it intentional fire that's being set?
Well, some people say that they believe that the cattleman, them whatever, light the fire. I hear that.
They have cattles up there.
Sometimes you I've never seen no.
But what do you believe?
Really, but what I'm saying is that you have a lot of fever grass. The lemongrass is up there. You know, it goes all over the hill. The lemongrass, and it goes extremely tall.
I've never been up there, remember?
So, yeah, well, they're coming this Sunday. Not this Sunday, the Sunday before Labor Day.
Okay.
After Morning Glory and Glorious Sunday, you can have a Glorious Sunday afternoon.
Not a problem.
Yes. So the grass now, when we have a lot of rain, you know, the grass will grow very high, even above my head.
And you're tall.
Yes, I mean.
How tall are you?
Oh my, you can't do a next level. Maybe it's not television.
They can see you. How tall are you?
It's about 6'6" or something like that.
6'6".
6'5".
So poor me.
No, you're rich.
That's why I'm always looking.
But anyway, let's not
We're talking about the grass.
Yes, but I'm saying that, you know, the lemongrass, the oil within it is so rich, you know, flammable. And again, we're dealing with volcanic rocks, you know, we're dealing with, you know, megaliths of that nature. So anything could be anything in a dry season, because the season would be very, very dry when you see it ignite. And it's usually dry when you see it ignite. So more than likely, I believe it's an act of nature. I think it's part of the mystics of that hill, you know, because it is a mystic place. The rocks themselves, they were not placed there. And you see, this is the whole point of it, you know. If you don't really see it, you would really be in a position to appreciate the whole aspect of Greencastle Hill. The rocks were not just placed there. As the report says...
But you said we're not just placed there. They were not placed there.
Well, no. Just placed there. I will show you why. The other megalithic sites in the world, even though they may align and, you know, correlate with the astronomical clock, they were designed that way. So you could see somebody put this rock here, somebody put that rock there. It's nice, it's pretty, like Stonehenge. I mean, Stonehenge didn't just grow out of the earth. It was arranged like that. But the rocks on Greencastle Hill, literally, however it's done, come from beneath the earth and grow out of the earth, and this can be proven because on the side where the quarry masonry product and the other quarry that you have doing their work there, you can literally see the rocks coming from the bottom of the earth, because remember that part of the mountain, at least 1/3 of the hill is gone, you know. So that part of the hill is gone. You know, from the Bendel side, when you're in Bendels and you're looking at Greencastle Hill or Shah Hill as they call it, that side of the hill is gone. So you could actually see the columns.
The footprints.
Yes, if you want to call it that, literally coming up and literally out of the surface of the hills.
So you know it's not someone putting it there.
They're coming from beneath the earth.
There's nature at work.
Yeah, nature. So it's as if there was some magnetic pull between the stars and the material that made these rocks.
You said it's volcanic.
Volcanic. So it was obviously molten at some time. So I mean, I don't know if that's the mystic that brought it forth, but something obviously had to happen because it's there, and you know, and it wasn't put there by human beings.
It's not something you can hold in them and put in the truck and take away.
No, not like that. Well, unless you're blowing up the hill.
Yeah, I know,
you know?
but I'm just saying. Physically.
The only stone, and people will see it when those who would come on the hike on Sunday. On the 6th of May, let me be very clear, the day before Labor Day, is the phallic stone, that same phallic stone, the power stone, if you want to call it that. It's really the symbol of a penis, you know. You know, in fact, I would say, especially those who are in the study of the ancient Kemetic craft, Antigua has... This might sound strange to people who totally, you know, ignorant of the subject area, but Antigua have the penis of Osiris, meaning that, you know, ancient mythos, because we are, you know, Nancy's story, as I was saying on a previous program, you know, in Kemet, the concept of the Asar or Osiris, you know, and the concept of the Geb. Now, Geb, this is deep, you know, Geb is considered to be the earth. It's the only culture I've found where they consider the earth as male and the sky as female. And it says that the penis of Geb, you see it coming out of the earth. Geb is also linked to Osiris. The penis of Geb comes out of the earth and impregnates the sky. And, you know, life was born and the sun and the moon. So it's just typology. It's just how we used to tell our stories thousands of years ago. Right. Now I'm saying all these obelisks, like the one you see in St. Peter's Square and the Washington Monument, these are obelisks, these long pointed things, these are obelisks or what we call the tekenu in the ancient language. So I'm saying now, they all resemble the penis of Geb.
They do.
That's where it comes from. That's where the science began. Some people say, oh, it's pagan. Whether you think it's pagan or not, I'm just telling you what it is. In Ethiopia, they have a specific type of obelisk that looks like the modern day skyscraper. Very tall, very long, and they have doors and windows, but you cannot really go into them. They're false doors and false windows. But the point is, even thousands of years ago, you already had a skyscraper, or at least a replica of a skyscraper with false doors and false windows, even before this modern day time, and they're still standing in Aksum in Ethiopia today. And then when you go to Egypt now, you still see another type of obelisk with the hieroglyph writings on it, and all of them represent or is symbolic of the penis of Geb. Now I'm saying right here in Antigua now, there's an obelisk on Greencastle Hill, and it's not in a squared shape. It doesn't have the right angles like all these other obelisks I just mentioned. It literally looks like a human being's penis, erected phallic, coming out of the earth, even with the little split at the top. You just have to see it to understand what I'm talking about. And that is
How
right.
fascinated are folks that when you took?
I know some people listening flipping for
No,
that kind of stuff.
you have been you've been taking folks up there for a while.
And there's a valve up there too, which is symbolic of the woman's reproductive system. All of that is up there, and they align with the sun at a specific time of the year. But yes, you're saying
What
take people.
what the folks that you would have taken to the hill? What is the feedback?
Jeff and his wife from England, I mentioned them to you already too. They came down December because what I intend to do for December coming, I wanted to do it previous December, and I already told them like months before, and they said yes, they were coming, but it could not manifest at that time, and they still came down, and we had our own private trip up the hill. But that was the second time because they came already, and I linked through King Bankers, and they were so delighted to see Greencastle Hill that they came back that second time, and they said whenever I'm doing the international hike, they for sure will be there.
But what does the local citizens that you have taken up there, because you've taken a lot of folks up
Yeah, definitely.
what is their reaction?
But before I get to the local citizens, I'm going to get to them. There was even an individual from Ireland who wrote a report in, I can't remember the name of the paper. I have it on my other laptop. The report itself, the Ireland something. But basically, he really got in contact with me through the Ministry of Tourism. Miss Blackman, yeah, she really, and but myself, her, and him, we went and took a hike, and he was really blown away, man. He was like, wow, and they're destroying this. He almost came to tears when we took him around the other side, and he saw all the excavator and whatever working, and man, he almost came to tears, like, wow, this is what's going on. He said, brother, I will help you. I mean, but anyway, so as far as the locals, wow. Brother Paddy Simon, Brother Bakadal Walker. I've been up there with Brother Shango, as you know, come up there with myself as well. An array of different people. I can't even go into all of it right now.
Yeah, but what is the reaction?
Well, that was I'm just going to show you now. Most times people marvel. You know, it's a breathtaking atmosphere when you reach up there. You know, people marvel. No one would expect what they see. Although I may speak of it, I cannot really paint the picture with the colors that you would absorb when you come with me
physically when you're there
on Greencastle Hill. Especially like the fire now went through the hill. That means a lot of the main stones are now exposed. My brother, there are countless of rocks. I mean, big rocks, taller than me. I mean, up to this day, I've not really discovered the fullness of the hill. You know, up to now, you know, a little hill, but it's so much crevices and corners and so many rocks all over. So most people, they're taken in, you know, really taken in. I've never carried anyone up there and they're not like, wow, I cannot believe this is what's going on. To the point that we always have a little a siesta as such, if you want to call it that, or fiesta. Fiesta is the better term. When we reach at the top of the hill, you know, so depending on the situation, we have snacks and drinks and people sitting and sometimes for hours. But that's usually when we do it in the morning, but sometimes for hours, you know, because, and at the top of the hill is Governor Baldwin's tomb. So we usually, You know, we usually park by his tomb for a moment, and then we go back down the hill. So I'm just saying that people are always blown away. You know, when you reach at the top of the hill, that's another view altogether. Then you can see your McNeish and the Shirkley Mountains and your Sugarloaf over in the corner over there. But there's none to compare like to Greencastle Hill, you know. And that's why Governor Baldwin now, that's why he's up there. You know, that's why he put his coffin up there, or he asked that he would be buried there. How mystic it was. Reginald Murphy was there when they were burying Governor Baldwin. He was a child. His father was the man that buried Governor Baldwin. So as a mystic myself, when I look into the mystery system, I find that very mystic, that how the cycle returned, that he now, Dr. Reginald Murphy, obviously one of the more outstanding individual, you know, to be studying this hill and bringing out reports and giving us a clear understanding of what's going on up there. So Governor Baldwin now, just like Cecil Rhodes, that's what I was saying earlier as well, the only place on earth that you have something that you can really compare to Greencastle Hill is the Modobo Mountains in Zimbabwe. And our good brother Ras Bones also has visited that area, and he has brought back pictures and even some of the stones for me from Zimbabwe, brother Ras Bones, Rastafari elder amongst us. And you know, so the comparison now, Cecil Rhodes buried himself, not really buried himself, but he told his subordinates that, I don't know, well, you know, if he's a zombie or what, but he told his subordinates that, look, when I die, make sure you bury me at the top of the Modobo Mountains. And these fellas did that for real, you know. Just show him over here, something see or something. But anyway, they buried him at the top of the Modobo. Yeah, I mean, before he died, to be honest, I ain't afraid to say that. Cecil Rhodes is saying, you know, the murder of my mother. No, anyway, I don't want to get hot now. So
why you want to be cool? So you don't think they actually buried him there?
No, they did. No, I'm just saying.
You're saying they should have cast him over.
I mean, Cecil Rhodes, these are some of the biggest demons that has ever been written about in history, you know. All they're talking about Hitler and this and that. Cecil Rhodes? Why would I want to be a Rhodes scholar? These are chief killers. Cecil Rhodes, Leopold II, anybody from that era and that time that had their slimy hands around the neck of the African people, man. They're worthy of the firing squad. Straight up. Okay, well, I mean, you're New York police now, man, Dave.
No.
Them things are supposed to shake you. I see you get your award. I mean, them things.
No.
NYP, man, all
you imagine they're not even aware if someone is discussing you or doing things with your name involved.
Yes, I
you know.
Yes. And I see the badge you showed me. Your badge.
No, that is a replica. I don't want to impersonate.
Oh, a replica. I thought it was an official seal you had there, man.
Well, it's official.
It's official, right?
Wait a minute. I ain't no policeman, and I don't have no authority to take him up, you know. And I wear that to New York, they lock me up and I read. so let me keep it as a keepsake in the souvenir box.
Right,
you know.
Right.
So, but as we look at this thing now, so you said you're having a tour. How can one become part of the tour?
Well, I mean, as I do all the time, I basically give the instructions. I will, you know, definitely put out some more information to the media, and people will continually hear of it. But it's simple. Yes, we usually do the morning tour, which is really the better part of it. You should be at the top of Greencastle Hill to see the sun rising. That's the whole science.
So how early would you guys get up there?
Depending on the time of year. So when the sun is coming up early, depending on the time. Sometimes we meet at 5. We always meet half an hour before we move off. So we meet at 5 at the Ebenezer gas station. That's always the meeting point, at the Ebenezer gas station. Because it's going to be an afternoon walk, we're going to meet opposite of the Ebenezer gas station. Usually in the morning, nobody's there, so we just meet there. Afternoon, I mean, you can't meet there, so we meet at the field at the opposite. Most people, they have not experienced Greencastle Hill because of the morning. But that's the better time, the morning, especially on these power days for the sunrise. That's why on the 21st, the solstice, we're doing it in the morning. It's a Friday. People may say, boy, Friday, I have to work almost Christmas. Well, you see, that's why it's an international event. Don't worry. If you miss it, don't worry. People will be there. It's for the international community. A lot of these people will be on vacation and all these different things when they come down. So we will be doing this one on the 6th of May, the Sunday before Labor Day. We chose that day, obviously, so, you know, the next day is a holiday. You don't have to be concentrated on maybe certain key things. And we're doing it in the afternoon. We have done a few afternoon hikes. And they've always turned out nice because you get to see the sunset and everything. So, and it gives people time to go to church and get whatever they have to put together in order and come. So we would meet now. We meet at the what do you call the place? We meet at the
Ebenezer Service Station.
yes, the opposite part of Ebenezer Service Station.
Because it's an afternoon.
It's an afternoon.
Okay.
And for 4, and we move off at 4:30. So we meet at 4
p.m.
and we move off at 4:30. And we just we'll ask for a contribution that we'll pick up at the end. And we're not giving any specific amount, any small contribution, whatever it may be, we'll be thankful. And that is May the 6th. Now, obviously, ones may want more information, and even if you don't think you need more information and you know you're coming, you could still contact me even by a text or WhatsApp, so I could even, you know, speak to you in case there's anything added to the whole package, or even email. So I would like to give my number plus my email for anyone who would like to, you know, connect with me, you know, who is sure that they're coming. They may have a group that they're coming with, you know, and we'll just do it, just throughout the love. That's what it is. So my email now is Priest Isaac, PRIESTISAAC 27 at gmail.com. Priest Isaac 27 at
Why
gmail.
27?
That's
okay. I know you're mystic, you know. So
you're not easy. Oh my goodness.
This thing on 21st of March not coming out my head now. 21st of March, the power day.
The somersault, the equinox.
So yeah, but
and the number is 728-3162, 728-3162. It's easier when you WhatsApp me.
It's easier.
Yeah, you say how.
So now you're still not telling me why the 27? Is that something? I know how you are. So you picked the number 27 for your Gmail. Was there a specific reason?
Well, yeah. The 27 has a little connection with me. It's not something I would really throw out.
No, okay. You don't have to. No, you don't have to. When we left off the microphone, you can tell me, no. And if you don't, my badge is here, no.
You're not easy. But you have to run into that other boot so fast. I don't think you have time to suck in the full depths of what 27
but we can always talk about it another time. So, Priest Isaac, the megaliths and Greencastle. What are some of the who can be the instrument to preserve that area? Because you're affiliated with the tourism department, they understand what's going on up there.
Yes.
And you can think about all the other things that are going on up there. But does culture play a role in this?
I haven't really connected with culture like maybe I would have with tourism. And I have to, sometimes. I have to always give thanks. Maybe I would sit back within my own self when the mic is off and think, boy, tourism and even education on the educational projects. And do
it would be a good thing for the youth to visit up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, when I said education, I do other things.
I'm saying the Ministry of Education.
Everything would link in one.
The thing is that if one does not know, you can't blame them.
Right, I understand.
And if there's something that's there and we ought to be aware of, and you know what it's all about, then I think the onus is upon you to teach. Because I was never aware of it until I was exposed to the things you spoke about. I just see it as a hill. No one never in depth spoke about the things that you're saying that exist on the hill.
Sunday the 6th, you'll see, man. But what I'm saying is that at the same time, like even Brother Colin James from tourism, I have to, he as well, directly, he has shown some interest in the hill, I must say. So yes, there's a contact and there's a link directly, but more can be done.
The excavation for the work that they're doing, for the stones, for whatever, the dynamites and all these things that go on
see,
out there. Is it protected from those?
No,
things?
no, it's not. You see, the reality is, remember, one of the key things is that the hill is a national park.
Yeah, but if it's a national park,
Well,
then
hold on.
something has to be preserved.
Well, hear me good. It's a national park, and there was a time where there was a discussion about taking it off of the national parks list. Okay, let me just say it this way. Obviously, you know, remember I formed the group once. Well, not I wouldn't say I formed it, but a few of us came together, and you know, the group has not been active for a while, and you know, we did a lot of research, and I will dare say on your program that piece of real estate is dangerous business. You know? Yeah, I would dare say that on your program, straight up, and I will leave it at that. So there's this fogginess about it, you know. Yeah, you can.
Who owns it?
You're gonna put me and I just tell you the thing is this.
No, because for one, you could not make it a national park if it was not owned by the government.
Well, okay, well there you go then.
So, and it's still part of the national park.
Well, as far as I know, at the moment, yeah, it should still be, definitely.
Wasn't there some point?
But
in
the
time-
point is, as a national park, really, that obviously brings up the whole question of, so why is it being used? Or, okay, it's not just being used, it's being destroyed. Whether be for good reason or not, it's being destroyed. When you eat an apple, you know, you're destroying it. You're destroying it to give you life. So you're destroying the hill. And it's a national park. So it doesn't really balance out.
You and I had a
And
conversation.
obviously,
before.
I would have approached different stakeholders.
You and
know?
I have had.
Remember, we
conversations.
already carried DCA
Wait.
and
this
so
is
many
where I'm
people on the
coming
hill.
at.
You know?
Didn't they put down certain stakes and
States.
boundaries?
And to be very honest, I have not visited those boundaries for a while to see what has happened.
What's a while?
Maybe over a year.
A year's a long time for me.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, you know, what really moved me at the time when even Mr. Cooper and these ones, when we all gathered and we went up to that hill on that rainy day, is that we noticed that the marks that were put there already, that's how far we went, you know. The marks that were put there already.
Was removed.
No, not removed. They have
What?
already passed the marks. The
You mean the excavators and all that?
Yeah, they already passed the limits that they were not supposed to pass. So the decision was to put some new boundaries. That didn't go down too well with me, I must say. I mean, I wasn't rude or anything, and I can remember turning around.
I don't think you ever ruled. Yeah, you speak your mind.
I turned around and said, "What kind of thing is this, man?" You know what I mean? I mean, after all of this, 'cause it took a lot of work to have all these stakeholders there. You know, DCA, tourism was there. We had environment. I think at that time, environment. Because remember, this was. When was this? Whose time was this? Is the UPP's time? Yes, environment was there. Obviously, that was a couple of years ago. You know, maybe 4 years ago.
No, it had to be more than 5.
5? Okay, well, whatever time frame it was, you know. So just to give you an idea of how far and all what has already gone into just trying to get answers about Greencastle Hill, trying to preserve Greencastle Hill. So what we intend to do on the 21st of December, and even when we just do our hikes, I mean, I don't have to do no hike. Yeah, it's not as if I charge no money as such, a donation. And when you say that, people still come and just put their hand in the pocket and say, "Boy, not going," and you know, we just make the thing flow. So I mean, I don't need nobody to carry me up the hill. I've gone up the Greencastle Hill, you know, in the dead night when you can't see nothing with a cellular phone, and rescue people already. Straight up.
What do you mean rescue?
Rescue a brethren of mine coming up with his 2 children after we had that was one of the afternoon hikes. You know, people like Brother Passion, if you're listening, can remember this day because he speak every time he see me mention this day. He's not the one that was in the hills. But when we came down, when we were coming down, this other brother, he was coming up. I know him, he was a friend of mine, a good friend. He was coming up with his 2 children and another about a teenager or something. And I said, "Man, now you come, we going down." But he has been on the hill with me already, so he had an idea where to go. So he said, "Yeah, man, we just go check this and check that." And blah, blah. So when we were going down, I always say a prayer when we reach at the bottom. As soon as the prayer was done, a lightning run across the sky. and the clouds came in, and what a shower, rain and thunder that day, a lot, man.
This was in the evening or the day?
Yeah, in the evening. So it came in the evening. So I was wondering, boy, I hope the bridge will get you know. So when I was home now, I think we were WhatsApping. He was still up there. And he was saying he trying to get out, and the place was dark, and he was lost in the hill with his children, and it was raining. So I called his girlfriend, and she carried me to the bottom of the hill. And I didn't have no great mag light or nothing. It was a phone light, but I'm telling you the truth. I wouldn't even give the credit to the phone light. It's just understanding the hill.
Knowledge, because you're aware where...
Yeah, left and right and where to go. It wasn't bushy, but you couldn't really see. And I found him, no moonlight, nothing. And even if there was moonlight, the sort of that thickness of the heavens, the waters in the heavens, you ain't gonna see no moon. And I found him and we came down, and yeah. So I'm saying all that to say, it's obvious that I've spent time with the hill, because it's a living organism.
So the 21st of December.
You'll just hear more about that.
Yeah. But on the 6th of May,
which is 2 Sundays from now. Again, I'll repeat, the day before Labor Day.
Yeah.
And basically, people are always concerned about little children. Of course, I wouldn't want you to be bringing no toddlers. You got, although toddlers have come, I see people with babies wrap around them come up already. It's not a hard hike. Let me be clear. It is not. You just, like almost anything, have to be careful. I would definitely, we usually have our EMS on site as well too.
Okay.
And
so what's the time frame as far as from the bottom of the hill to get to the top of the hill?
That will depend, but for example,
depends on what?
Well, we take a few stops, and depending on how long the stop takes, because some people just like, the vibes and the asking questions.
So there's an educational trail as you're going.
Well, I mean, it's a lecture plus a hike,
Okay, good.
This ain't just a walk and you're looking for it. I will be explaining the depths of what is taking place.
Okay, so and to get to the top, what time?
I mean, it's about, as I said, the first leg, from we move off, literally walking, the first leg is about maybe 15 to 20 minutes, the first leg. And that's the most work of the hike, and that will carry you to the thrones that literally come out of the earth. 3 thrones that you can sit on. And then we take another leg that will carry you to the eternal city. From that point, you can see over Jolly Harbor and these places. It's a nice view. A lot of people are taken in with the view. I mean, the view is nice, but the view on the hill is the view to me, really. And the great megaliths. And then we go past the vulva, which is the feminine reproductive system, and the penis that's aligned with it. I mean, it's God put it there, can't be vexed with God, and it aligns with the sun on specific days. Then we go to the top, and you see the grave from the big man there, and look over the hill.
That's going to do it for us today. Priest, always a pleasure to have you with us.
Very much.
And here's hoping that on the 6th of May, folks will be rather interested to come on out and discover the megaliths here in Antigua and Barbuda. Thanks again for your time, and we wish you the rest of the week a good one, a productive one. And to the folks who are viewing and listening, thanks for being with us this afternoon. Stay tuned for Evolution Drive Time.
Yes, I know flower this on the ends, representing the flames. Yo, the one after the Honorable Priest Isaac. Some boy to know this. Hear me now. Antigua are the place where Priest Isaac dwell. Ancient Israel, ancient story they tell. Yes, up a Lalibela where the monk them a dwell. With them mescal, them a broke evil spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. His foundations in the whole mountain. Priest Isaac on the whole mountain. Him block a reverence on the whole mountain. Him chant a psalm on the whole mountain. But never hesitate for yell the king. I take a Isaro Einen. So proud, yes, to be an offspring. Mystic vibration of the people, them a sing. Angel, mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where him dwell. When we broke feed them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, him an angel. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them now go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke feed them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, him an angel. Trod on the banks of the gully. Isaac trod it through the hills and the valley. Trod it through the town, through the bloody city. Haile, 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 always with we. Haile, 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 I'll protect we. Haile, 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 I would never